So right in Witcher 4, you know how Red Dead Redemption 2 has like your horse's balls shrivel up in the claw. So
100% needed gameplay.
that's how we're gonna start it.
Horse balls, that's it.
Roach's
Right.
balls have the shrivel over, bro.
Roachlings?
Roachlings. it's roachlings. Yeah, there we go. That's a good word.
Oh,
Roachlings.
fuck's sake. Oh, good old Roach. Right, anyone who knows Witcher 3 knows how much of a headache that horse is from time to time.
Yeah, bro. Remember, they even had a side quest where like he can talk to you and you can ask him questions.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And even Geralt asks him like, "Yo, how the hell do you teleport here and there?" He's like, "Oh, well, it just happens sometimes."
Trains with Goku, man. This guy. Right, so Witcher 4.
Yep.
What do we know?
Well, from like recent news articles and stuff, all we know is a live service multiplayer game. It's gonna contain like some microtransactions.
Yep.
And the main character won't be Geralt.
So almost completely different to the main game.
Literally.
What we say, free.
Literally.
It wasn't really live service. It wasn't multiplayer. It had microtransactions. I know it had the DLC 2 packs. You had the Heart of Stone and the Blood of Wine.
Yeah, Blood of Wine, yeah.
But I don't think it had micros. It might have.
I don't think it did. Because at the end of the day, like if you look at the game, like it doesn't look like it would ever contain it.
Yeah, no, you're right. Because you'd reckon it would be like all of the cosmetics, but unlike shit games out now, you actually earn the stuff in this. This is why Witcher 3 was so good.
Exactly.
Except, like I just said to you earlier before we even started this, the fact you couldn't keep your original armor.
Yeah.
Because it was just obsolete. You'd get one hit by so many things.
Yeah. Which kind of pissed me off, to be honest, because like it looked the best as well.
It looked really good, and it's a staple for the series. And what I really hated is that you couldn't like at the end fuse a stronger set into that one.
Yeah,
so
or like have it as like a layered armor set.
Yeah, layered armor set, which should have been fine because it launched with the game. Just minor things which would have made the game like an 11 out of 10.
Yeah, literally, like already it's like definitely one of the best games in history
ever. Yeah, definitely the best open world game in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely the best modern game as well.
Well, yeah, I think it's second behind Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh yeah. No, I think it's third behind Battlefield 2077.
Oh yeah, Battlefield 20. I know, they're still trying. Right, so live service multiplayer.
Oh.
They've not had a good track record in the last few years.
No, they haven't.
Because everything is shit. Let's use Battlefield for an example.
Oh, please no.
It's a huge. I was literally a biggest COD fanboy for ages, years, and then I'm like, you know what? I've grown up. Battlefield is actually the better shooter. Look at this. Look at these trailers. Look at the gameplay. Look at the moves. It actually looked really good. And it just come out of a huge disappointment. And fortunately, you even told me to be careful not to buy it early, even though I was waiting for it to be on Games Pass.
Yeah.
3 months bullshit.
Yeah, where they said that the build that they had was a 3-month older one than when it was published.
That's BS, bro.
Yeah, of course it was BS. It was straight BS.
So I don't want to see that with Witcher, man. Obviously they got a bad rep now, CD Projekt, because of Cyberpunk. Whether it's their fault or whether it's because they're crunched for time and money is the main reason that's caused all of this.
It was the investors and stuff.
That's what I mean. Yeah. When I say money ruined it, because Witcher 3, like, look at that. That's like complete opposite ends of the spectrum. A completed really good game, and then you got a rushed, unfinished
mess. Glitchy mess. That's what it was.
The coding was shocking.
Yeah.
But the devs kept saying that it wasn't their choice. They wanted to do this, they wanted to do that, but they just kept getting overruled by management or stuff. I don't know. But the multiplayer, live service multiplayer, keyword multiplayer, looks good.
Yeah.
Sounds good if they do it properly.
Yeah, definitely.
The word properly is very vague. Properly, if you know, you know. I don't think there's even much point explaining it. Or you can if you want to. What I mean by properly.
Well, there's no need to like explain it properly because we all know what the ideal game in our heads look like. Just look at Witcher 3.
Yeah, just Witcher 3, playing with your mates, gangbanging, self-healing werewolves.
Yeah, exactly.
That bastard that kept healing back against me. Fight back. Damage. I'm here. I remember going in like, yeah. I don't need to use oils. Let me use my sword. And I'm just hitting him, and I'm like, oh, let me look at his health bar. It's ticking back up. Now imagine you had 2 other Geralt leveled witches with you.
Oh man, like Witcher 3 is definitely it's just one of the best. Even though like it is glitchy here and there, but like this game came out in 2015.
Yeah,
Like, where were we in
I
2015?
know. Oh my gosh, I never experienced really glitches when I played this. The only glitchy thing was Roach not responding to my whistle.
Yeah,
That's literally it.
and that was just Roach being an idiot.
That's just Roach being Roach. Looking forward to see his roachling shriveling up every time you whistle for
Yeah,
him.
to pay back for all the times you messed up.
But like the whole multiplayer aspect would be nice because it makes me think of obviously my favourite game, which everyone would come to know, Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
And the sharing of equipment and stuff, and the equipment and items are heavily used in a game like Witcher. You can't just go in and just one hit everything you see.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, you can when you get to a certain level.
Yeah.
But, imagine like boss fights, like against that Griffin, for example, or that's such a good first boss fight, or just any other later ones. There's a lot that can be done with the multiplayer. We just hope to do it properly.
What makes it even better though is like Witcher 3 was on like its own engine. I think it was like on its own engine, right?
It was.
But like imagine like with like how powerful like consoles are nowadays. Imagine the size of the map you could have, and like you could just have like bigger monsters as well.
I mean, that Unreal 5 tech demo, the Matrix one, showed just how big a map you can make and how good it can still look. Like I literally stared at the floor, and I was like, "Wow, look at the floor! Like it's crazy." And then that's a modern era.
Yeah.
Imagine like a fantasy type setting. Wow,
dude, right.
Wow, that would look good.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. It's like fantasy games would definitely take way more time than a modern game.
Yeah.
Because it's like you've got to like basically you got to think of like the smallest of things. Like if you go outside, what's there?
Yeah.
Mud, grass, like leaves, this, that, this rock, pebble, blah 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 blah. You can go on and on. You know, like
modern. You go outside, you can take a picture, you can replicate it on a game. If you're going to think about a way making a new Witcher, it doesn't even necessarily need to be a new map. It can still stay within the lore. You can still visit these previous maps, and they can all just be updated. It can save them a lot of time.
Yeah.
No one's going to complain because the maps were good enough already to begin with. It's open world, so you spend a lot of time adventuring.
Yeah, exactly.
And I played Witcher a lot, and I still didn't cover the whole world there.
Yeah. There are still to this day like multiple things that like. For an example, right, this is what makes Witcher 3 like one of the best games in history, right? There's, in the start of the game, you meet this guy called Baron, and like you're basically meant to find Ciri or whatever. Did you know that you could actually skip the Baron quest if you know where like he would tell you Ciri is? You can literally run there. You can run over there.
Things like this were found out after loads of playthroughs, weren't they?
You can run over there, and then you can go there, whatever, and you can talk to them and be like, oh yeah, I know someone called Ciri, blah blah blah. But like, and then later on in the game, you will never ever reference the Baron again because you don't know who he is.
Shit.
That is amazing. Like, think of all the voice lines they've actually done for this game.
Yeah.
They took everything in possibility. Like, you could probably skip this and that. Well, obviously you can't skip to the end of the game.
Yeah, no.
But like you can skip like key things like that. Like that is crazy.
See, with linking back to that multiplayer aspect, I want everything to be. I was going to say this for later. You should be able to play all of it solo as well as much as you can play it multiplayer. And again, I'll just reference Monster Hunter because it's very easy. You line up a quest setting or whatever and you still have to watch a cutscene. I'm not the one that wants to skip cutscenes. I know why people want to. They don't have an interest in the story. Fine. Yeah. But if you're going to play something solo, you should. If they're going to make a multiplayer, they should make it soloable as well with the scaling. I forgot where I was going with this now. I waffled too much.
Oh, waffling, bro.
Waffling.
Shit.
But yeah, they could. I don't know where I'm going with this now. I completely forgot what your point was. I've lost it. I've lost the way.
Like how like in depth the voice lines and stuff were in the game.
And skipping to the main thing.
Yeah,
that's it. So I want every quest to have meaning every time you play with someone else. Just as much meaning as it would be if you played by yourself. So if you're going to be playing multiplayer, I expect whatever you're fighting or the quest to be longer, harder if you're playing with more people.
Yeah,
because if you're going to be playing solo, and I'm like I referenced that self-healing werewolf, and you fight multiplayer, I don't want it to go down too quick. I want it to still have that aspect. I want it to still have a strong feel to it. But with the live service title, it's just not what's the word? Confidence inspiring.
Yeah.
It's not confidence inspiring.
Like, Witcher 3 is just like a really amazing game. Like, I don't think like there's no game that came out recently that can actually like hold a candle to it.
No.
Everyone sucks off Breath of the Wild. Like, yeah, Breath of the Wild to me, it was fun, but it was just lacking in like a lot of stuff. Like the world felt empty.
Yep.
like when you get rid of the shrines and stuff, it's just like the world is empty because there's nothing in it.
Yeah.
And then like when you compare, and then like the story in Breath of the Wild was just pointless. Like to a Legend of Zelda game, there was
Yeah.
no story.
That's your forte. I've not played a lot of Zelda, so
Yeah, there was just no story. Like obviously, my favorite one still is Twilight Princess.
yeah, yeah.
And
Same.
like yeah, that is the best. That is the best one to me. That and Majora's Mask is like my favorite too. And so like the new Legend of Zelda, whatever, right? I hope that has a like story in it and stuff. But like Witcher would obviously smash out a story.
Witcher would
because,
destroy the story.
Yeah,
but
like it like with Witcher story, it can lead off like your story. It's your
Yeah.
story. So your story could be different to everyone else. You could be like, oh well, I killed this one guy because he didn't give me a cupcake. Well, I got the cupcake by mind controlling him with the Axie sign or whatever.
yeah, that would be quite cool. Play your own style. Yeah, but the only problem with the live service is everything that comes out live service. It's like it's like a bag of crisps here in England,
Yeah, bag of crisps.
full of air,
Bottle of water.
full of air. That's literally what live service sounds like. It's like the packaging is amazing.
Yeah.
Or you can buy something that looks really good and you open the box and there's nothing in there.
Yeah. Oh my god.
That's what I don't like with the title's live service.
Yeah, like Witcher 3 had so much content. So there was so much content in Witcher 3 alone, right? That like you could play this game for like 200 hours plus, right?
Yeah.
And like and so like if it's a live service game, like imagine all the content that's gonna get like cut out from it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like
It's just gonna be a bag of air.
Yeah, it's just gonna be stripped. And it's just like I don't want that.
I don't want that because that's what I mean. And then with the term live service comes paid.
Yeah.
So you'll get something on live service tend to be free as well.
Yeah.
And not slamming down. I use Apex as an example. It's a free game. It's a multiplayer. It's good for what it is.
Yeah.
If you want to have extra stuff in it, you have to pay. Not like their extras are even good anyway.
Yeah.
Hopefully, like Witcher didn't do stuff like block game modes or extensions and all. Well, like, obviously extensions you can pay for because it's a free to play game if it comes out free to play. But a live service, like the last big one, which upset me because they didn't let them finish the remake, was Anthem.
Yeah.
And as much as people want to shit on the game, it had so much better potential, better than Destiny, better than Outriders that came out. It had so much, and all they needed was the 6 years work on the game. Just like how Cyberpunk had the those skill perks for underwater or underground, and everyone was like, "What's the point of these skills?" Because they were meant to have them, and they didn't get the time to put it in.
So like at the same time, it's like if it's a live service and there's gonna be microtransactions, what kind of microtransactions will be in the game? Like, what do you think they could actually make you buy? Like, would it just be like armor sets and like weaponry? But like, if that's the case, then like, that's not really fair because someone can get like some rare loot or whatever. That's gonna be like bussing.
That's it though. But where are the microtransactions? If it was in Witcher 3, no, I'm pretty sure it had some. Or the edition I got, it just came with free stuff because I had like the different clothing for Triss, different clothing for Yennefer, different clothing for people, different. I think you got those execution finishes and stuff. I'm pretty sure they were all free.
Yeah, they're all free.
Someone's dog is attacking someone here. Oh my gosh. But yeah, with the microtransactions, it's what I don't want is it needs to become essential to play the game. I want it to be a choice.
Yeah.
Where it's a cosmetic. And the cosmetics are already good as it is. So it's arguable that you don't even need to. It's all a choice. But it shouldn't be something like you said where it actually comes with stats and affects the game. That's where microtransactions are good.
Like, to be honest, right, even if like Witcher 4 came out looking like that, it would still be better than GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition.
Oh gosh, what a shocking piece of crap. Thing is though, I like GTA. I played the younger one when I was the younger one. Oh my gosh. Played San Andreas when I was younger. No, it was Vice City I played, or Vice City Stories, whichever one.
Yeah.
On the PC. And then obviously writing down all the cheat codes. And then I played tons of 5. Don't play it anymore. I played for like 1 year. And then now the remake was being made. No one cares about the trilogy remake. Everyone wants the next game.
Yeah.
And I know that they're raking him, but they've done a recent release with Dr. Dre as a DLC character or DLC story mode. It's like they obviously just keep raking money in. they're gonna do that and then not for. How could you release a trilogy like in that poor condition?
I don't know, man. It's just I don't know, man. Like at this point, they just need to like title drop GTA 6, and like everyone will be happy.
Everyone,
That's
I
all
would
they have
play
to
it.
do. That's
I
all they
would
have to
play
do.
it. I would literally play the next GTA 6. But a lot of people say it's already done. I'm on the believing side of the game. The game's theory, all the process, all of the work's been done.
Yeah.
It's just finishing the game, I think, what they might still be doing. But what's the point of finishing if you're raking in millions a year?
What's the point? What's the point of finishing the game if you haven't even paid your employees yet, though?
Yeah. Oh, gosh, no.
Like Rockstar's so bad. It's actually ridiculous what they do to people there.
No.
But like,
No.
but like besides that, right? Like
You're still on that point of microtransactions. As
Yeah.
long as it's cosmetic, as long as they don't change the game.
I'm fine with it.
Even for example, again, I'm going to reference it. Monster Hunter World
Yeah.
Iceborne had it really good. You customize your room, people could come in. All of the choices, it's just a choice. You want to spend time in your room. There's different types of hunters. That's why we want to do Witcher, be your own Witcher.
Yeah.
We'll get into it later.
We'll get into that later, yeah. Don't worry about that, guys.
We'll switch it up now from the downside bits of the live service. Hopefully optimistic multiplayer thoughts we've had. Microtransactions being quite crappy in general nowadays, to Geralt not being the main character.
Yeah. With Geralt not being the main character, right?
Did I pronounce his name wrong?
I don't know.
Is everyone gonna
I have
slam
no.
me?
There's like three ways to say it. You say like Geralt, Geralt.
Oh
Like,
gosh.
you know what I mean? You can say it, and I don't even care at this point because
Right.
I can't remember. I've not heard anyone say his name correctly in ages. But like, if he's not the main character, right? You can. There's like multiple people that could be the main character
Easily.
at the end of the day.
We both know one.
Yeah, we all know one. We all know one. Like, you know, for example, you can have like Vesemir or
Young
Ciri.
Vesemir.
Yeah, young Vesemir as a Witcher, or have like Ciri as one. And like, if it's young Vesemir, you can link it in with like the Night of the Wolf movie that they had.
What a fucking cool movie. That was so good.
It was good, really good.
Animations, fight style, the use of all the Witcher abilities and skills, potions, the thought behind it. Yeah, it was really well done.
It was so good. It's actually ridiculous.
Young Vesemir, what a character. What a character he had.
Absolute Chad.
Yeah, proper Chad. As everyone like knows Geralt to be a badass, he's more on the silent type, whereas Vesemir was the talky type, the cocky but could back it up type. Love that kind of character.
Oh man.
But yeah, so young Vesemir is an example. I don't know about a series.
Wait, young Vesemir, what are you on about? He's like, remember he was with that girl when he was a kid, and she was like an old lady, bro. Man was young. Man looked young. He was definitely like his 60s, bro, or something, bro.
But you know what I mean, young Vesemir, because now he's old. Well,
he's like 1,000 years old or whatever, bro.
Witcher 3 is old. I don't know if they go that old. I'm pretty sure it's like 3 or 4 generations, not that long.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, so obviously not Geralt. I don't think so much it would be Ciri. I think Ciri was just a character involved with the story.
Yeah, she was the MacGuffin of the series.
What?
MacGuffin. It's like basically a MacGuffin is like a film term for like the item that the main cast or enemy cast need.
Wow. I never knew that was a term.
Yeah, so like for example, Transformers 1 was the cube.
Yeah, the cube was a
MacGuffin.
No, she's just there. It's like, nah, she can't be. I'm not slamming her. I do love her.
Yeah.
I love her so much I don't love her. When I played Witcher 3 and I finished the game, the 3 key choices that you would use to save Ciri, which I didn't know about. Again, we'll get into the point of how that ruined me. Is she ended up not coming back, ended up dying, and I had already bought the Blood and Wine, already bought the Heart of Stone, and I couldn't bring myself to play the DLC because I felt bad for Geralt because he felt bad that Ciri died.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think she'll have her own one. Young Vesemir, unless they make a brand new character, which is still possible because.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a brand new character, you know.
Because technically, yes, they used Vesemir at a younger age in Blood of I can't even
Night of the Wolf.
Night of the Wolf. He's still technically game or movie wise is new to the series, so it's not like they don't know how to make new characters.
Like at the end of the day, it's like you can always have the young Vesemir and just expand on the story that he has. Like you can literally base it like the whole entire let's say like the MacGuffin of like that like scenario of like Vesemir is like the main character, whatever.
Right.
It could just be like people still hate like Caramon can be under like siege again or whatever this time, but it's like
Cameron,
you and the
yeah.
kids, bro. It's just you and the kids this time.
That's cool. Yeah, that they still touched on that. They don't get games back in it. I sound old, right? I'm not old, I promise. Right, but games made like 5+ years ago, they all had much more flushed out content that you paid for in comparison to now, and it's just so. I'm trying to think of examples like now where they're missing out on what they could have done. I don't even know.
Mm.
But yeah, basically, games like back before had a lot more to them, had a lot more bite, had a lot more feeling put into the game. Whereas now everything just starts to feel empty,
Yeah. Like,
and I don't want an empty main character.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what's up with like games nowadays as a whole. It's like they're really like they've got some good stuff in it, but like it's just already done. Like, I don't know what it is. It's like, yeah, you look at this game and like, yeah, this is cool, but I'm not really gonna buy it.
I've got a good enough example for you, and there's enough. I'm not even going to bother. Everything's already out about it. Resident Evil, Resident Evil Village.
Oh,
Right,
Village, yeah.
all the memes around that chick, Lady D, right?
Lady Demetrius.
And then she was she had a castle or something, and what is it? Once you left it, you couldn't go back into it,
Yeah,
or
you
something.
could go back into it.
And it's like you put all this time and effort into this, and I know Resident Evil's more on the line of a linear structured game, but that one where you can't, a game like that, you should be, and you put so you couldn't walk around it. Like imagine you wasn't an exploring type, and you missed out on so many things.
Yeah.
Purely because of how the game was designed.
And it's not just that, but like the Resident Evil 8, I didn't really like it that much.
No.
It was like, it was
Awful.
interesting concept, but like it just kind of like
7
dropped
was
the ball.
amazing.
Yeah.
Biohazard was absolutely. I know it was a bit weird with the gunk and all that kind of stuff, and they're trying to make sense of all of the virus and stuff. And if they rounded it up with 8, I mean, they did their best to bring it all together. I think they would have been better off just leaving it because they branched off in so many things. Like, yeah, the infected caused this and that, but how the hell does Chris punch a freaking boulder? Like, come on.
That was years ago, man. That was when I was
I
in
know,
like
it's-
primary school, whatever, bro.
But there's just too much that I don't want it to be empty. I don't want an empty main character. I don't want an empty life service map where you can play multiplayer and you run around. There's nothing objectively to do. There's like 3 or 4 main quests and the rest is just there. And then you buy all of these 15, 20 pound skins and you don't actually get to do anything with them because there's no quests, nothing.
Yeah.
That's what I don't want from the main character. Is there anything you do want? Anything you do want to see? Back to main character wise, or yeah, we'll start off with that. Back to the interesting protagonist or other characters or story based that you want to see.
Like
This would be the uplifting part of this talk.
yeah,
The optimistic.
Yeah,
part.
like after like 19 hours or whatever of just being
misery.
negative.
Yeah, we're not negative. We're just disappointed.
Yeah, it's like for all we can know, right? Like the game title is Witcher, and we've always played as Witcher. For all we can know, we might not even play as a Witcher in the next game.
That's an interesting analogy.
Like we could end up playing as like some knight or some shit like that who's basically set out on a quest to just go get someone or something, and then it all just spirals out.
I don't know how they could flush it out as you playing as that character unless you become a witch or.
And then like I was about to say that. I was like, you could end up like you basically need to go and get like magic or whatever to help you actually like fight the shit that's going to get in your way. So you go out of your way and you go to like some Witcher place, wherever you get like the treatment and stuff on you.
I think you have to be a kid though for that.
Yeah, I know. You have to be a kid, but let's just say like someone's doing like let's say like in the early story, whatever, right? It starts off with like an elf or like a mage who's doing like illegal testing on people and stuff, and like you guys raid their base, like their cave or whatever, and you basically take him out and put him in prison. They don't get executed or whatever, right? And so you set out on a quest, whatever, and then you're like, well, I can't do this alone, blah, blah, blah. I'm basically going to need this. And you're going to go back and break them out of prison, whatever, to go for your quest. And then they could do the experiments on you, whatever, and you can gain like in quotation marks, like Witcher-like abilities, but it's not like you as a Witcher. It's just to like help benefit you so you can cast magic and shit.
That's not a bad idea. Flip it on his head. Me personally, the main thing I wanted, and when I saw it comes, because it was my favorite thing about the witches was the process of becoming one. Because they don't show it in Witcher 3. They gloss over it in terms of text with NPCs.
Yeah.
I want you to be able to create your character, go through some kind of crazy scenario, like your village being burned down, for example. You're an orphan, you're lost, you're stranded, you get picked up by a witcher. I'm not trying to say that they're orphan pickers.
Orphan pickers.
And then they give them a choice of life or death. But I don't know, some kind of scenario where you're left by yourself, or you're seeking revenge and you know of a witcher who came to save you, similar to what happened in Night of the Wolf.
Yeah.
And then you go about that path. You want to become a witcher. I would love to go through the trials as a kid. So obviously, when you're getting chemicals pumped into you, this could just be a quick time events.
Yeah.
Like the only one in the game. But then you actually play through the leveling testing areas where you test your skill, your endurance, not obviously your strength. I know you're still a kid. All of your wits and stuff to try and get past it. And this is all how to create your character. So imagine like the first bit is you're running away from something. You don't even see yourself. And then next thing, you manage to get away. You hear the monster attacking someone else, screams off in the distance. And it's, I don't know, you pass out. You wake up and the next day, you go to a screen where there's running water. And as you look into the water, you could see your reflection. That's when you create your character design, for example. Then again, you'll create a kid design, which obviously don't make sense.
Yeah.
But there's ways they could work around that. They can just give you a beard and stuff after.
They can give you a cloak or whatever. And you're just running with the cloak on you.
You could be a witcher with bad memory.
Yeah.
That could literally be it. Maybe more of like the trial kind of like system, and then it's a nightmare, and then you wake back up, and that's actually a really good idea. Because it is a nightmarish scenario to go through. As much as I want to become a witcher, I would gladly volunteer to try and go through.
It's 3 in like 10 kids that survive this.
3 out of 10. I would just kill all the other kids. Well, then it makes me a main target for the beast in the wood. But that's my main thing that I want to see. Go through the trials in the intro, create your character, your own character, and you become your own witcher.
Another point as well is like, let's just kind of think about that like that non-witcher scenario. You could just be like you could play as a character who hates witches and you just hunt them.
It just takes away from the witcher.
I know, that's taking away from the witcher thing. But I'm thinking like, imagine that though, like you play as like, think about that with that create a character thing, right? We could have a scenario where like one of the villains in the game or whatever for like a story or something is a person who personally hunts the witches themselves.
Yeah, very knowledgeable about witches.
And so they see them as monsters and stuff, and like obviously like you know how people are in the Witcher world.
That is such a good impression of them. That is amazing.
Yeah,
that is amazing.
And so like how it could be is like he's one person that basically took it like a step too far and is personally going out his way to kill them.
Yeah.
And so like as a result, he wants to like he started killing witches, and like you hear about him whatever, and you can hunt him down.
That sounds quite cool.
And it's like literally like simple, very basic things like that would be like very cool stuff to implement in the game as well.
It's a good idea. See, I think that could work with the multiplayer aspect where there's a hunt witcher or multiple witches down where you could play as a beast, for example.
Yeah.
Kind of like Monster Hunter on its head. You play as a monster, you hunt the hunter. I think, but for main story, I don't know how it would work. Not with a title Witcher 4.
Yeah.
But it's a good idea. It's a good idea for a spin-off. It's a good idea for a side mode. It's a good idea for, like what I mentioned, some kind of multiplayer aspect.
Yeah, that's true. Like, even the create a character thing as well that you brought up, like, that there to me is more preferable because of that you could do so much.
Do you know how much people... One, Geralt's design, fucking badass. Ciri's design, incredible. Triss Merigold, absolute beauty. Yennefer, fuck off. I initially...
now we got like 19 dislikes.
Yeah, 19? Wow, that's a lot of views. That's a lot of views. Nah, like I like Yennefer at the start because purple's my favourite colour. I like dark hair, but it's just her demeanour, her mannerism, and it's just...
Yeah, she's like really rude most of the time.
Rude, just... She can't make her mind up. She don't want kids. Now she can't get kids, but she's all powerful and she wants kids again. It's like, make your mind up, like, for real. This shit's annoying. But no, Triss was just It was her voice. I fell in love with her voice. The voice actor for Triss Merigold in The Witcher 3. The first time I literally melted in my seat. I've not had that experience in any other game. Triss's voice is just absolute gold for me.
I see. Fair enough.
But yeah, so they... But then talking about Triss and Yennefer, we could go after that, create your own character, some kind of romance kind of side stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
They touched on it in Cyberpunk, kind of hard failed.
Boom.
They done it in Witcher where you can pick and you get the multiple sidelines. If you go with Yennefer and you get the good ending story, you finish with Yennefer. I went with Triss, I got the bad ending, so I didn't get the one with Triss because Ciri ended up dying. So Geralt goes in the three witches building and all these monsters just swarm him.
Yeah.
Then there's the one
To
if
me,
you try
he
to sleep with
survived
both
that.
of them. You try to sleep with both of them, they both ping you down and leave you tied up in a room or something. But then with the multiplayer aspect one, it would have to be lightly touched on because it's more of a co-op attack, become witches and stuff. It's not build a family simulator. So as much as I think the romance side would be quite interesting, it would have to be on the bearer side.
Yeah.
As much as I love games filled with content, there is no affiliation with the actual characters, so people need to get out of there. I love Triss Merigold, but I'm not going to say I want to make my character marry Triss, and you can clearly tell I'm not interested in that. It's just her voice, and for Geralt, she was my favourite pick.
Yeah.
Personally. I think a lot of other people pick Yennefer because it's their personal pick, not for Geralt.
Yeah. But yeah, again, I think the canon,
Character
Karen,
creation, I think. Karen creator.
the canon ship was Yennefer as well. Yeah,
Yeah, the canon ship is Yennefer. Yeah.
But like at the end of the day, like there's just so many things you can do in Witcher 4 that like you basically have an already good game. Imagine of like making it better though.
So, the only thing that we said that we can improve on, because we've already gone through our ideas of what we want to see in the creating character, is the open world itself, where you can interact with the renowned characters and embark on your story. So just like how the quests are there on The Witcher, you level up, you get better gear, you go explore new areas, new areas open up for you. I'm kind of the person that likes the idea of progressional exploration and not everything available to you there and then, because
Yeah.
if everything's available and you're running all the way to the left side of a map, then all the way to the right, and it makes sense you open up areas at a time when you're leveled up for it. Like Skellige, I think, was like the last-ish region you can unlock in Witcher 3.
Something like that.
If you went there at the start, everything would just kill you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that the open world and interacting with known characters, Geralt could be on the map. This could be set 10, 20 years after Geralt's story. Vesemir could be there. Yeah. Vesemir could have been the one training you. Geralt could have been your trainer. And you come across like the Baron with the weird baby kid scenario.
Yeah, the baby kids.
You can
What is it like? It's like Lynchling, whatever it is. I think it's Lynchling.
Like I can't remember. It's been years since I played the game.
Yeah. Like
Yeah, the open world and characters and your story.
Yeah, like basic puzzles in Witcher 3 was like,
yeah,
there was a wall here. Use the Force one.
Yeah, the Ard.
Yeah, Ard. That's it. Yeah, use Ard to break this wall, whatever. And it was like there's like a whole lot you could probably do as well. Like for all we can know, like they could revamp the system. So like if you use Igni to light something on fire and use Ard, you can push like the fire forward, like a firewall, whatever.
See, that will go with what I mentioned with the become your own style of Witcher, where you could go more down that kind of path.
Yeah.
What did you use to cast it though? Was it? It's not mana though, is it?
No, it wasn't mana. It was
it was kind of like a regeneration kind of bar. So it acts kind of like stamina, wasn't it? So you couldn't just spam it out.
Yeah.
You couldn't. But I like the idea where if you want to become your Witcher, you want to become more fighting, more of a fighter prowess, or you could have more of a casting prowess where you have more like stamina. If we'll just use that word in case instead of mana, where you can do that. But then if you go down that more ability path, you would obviously increase, like what I said, cohesion. So you can work with one thing and then add it with another. You could have Quen with Igni, so every time you protect yourself with Quen and you receive a physical attack, they get burning damage, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the trade-off would be that you're not as good as your physical fighting. That's just an idea of becoming your own kind of Witcher.
Yeah. Like like let's go back to the open world interactive
Yeah.
big characters and stuff. So like with the renowned characters, what they could basically do is like you can just go on like side quests with them, whatever. Like
Oh, that would be cool. Not
yeah,
just
that's what I'm
get the
saying.
quest from
Yeah,
them. Yeah,
yeah, you
dig that.
go on with them and stuff. Or like let's say for example, like you and your character go to like a bar and like you're just chilling in there, whatever, and you
Yeah.
hear like commotion in the background, and you go to the back group and they're just beating up Dandelion.
Oh, jeez. I thought he was going to say they were talking about us behind our back, but
What the? Okay,
yeah.
don't worry about that. Don't worry about that, guys. Don't worry about that.
Talking about you behind your back, or
Yeah.
first you said that, and the first thing I thought of is I want to go to some crazy forest deep in, pick up some mushrooms, eat them, and start talking to Roach and have him be my first quest companion. Going somewhere and just talking with him, eating hay, sleeping around, do whatever kind of quest he's got set up. Maybe give him a piggyback every now and then. Sure, he'd appreciate that.
Yeah, and like, and with the open world being a thing still, right? Obviously, as years goes on, like technology advances, like the map in Witcher 3 would probably become even bigger.
Yeah.
So you could potentially have like bigger monsters, like an actual dragon fight.
Yeah, like bigger actions where, like I said, the multiplayer has purpose. It's not just instead of it being a difficult fight for yourself.
Yeah.
It's still difficult for three of you.
Mm-hmm. Especially with like how Witcher 2 had a dragon fight like near the end of the game or whatever.
See, I remember you saying that. I've just not seen that fight.
Everyone said like that fight. The fight was good on paper, but like when you actually did it, it was stupid.
It's just limitations of gaming back then, though, wasn't it? Really.
That was
the
like
idea was there.
2008 or whatever.
The idea was there. Like, look at example for Witcher 3, the massive step up that was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So going on the open world interacting with known characters, going on quest for or with them.
Mm.
Maybe even picking like allegiances. There's a small kind of system they could add in.
Yeah. Like you can help out the elves or whatever, and like if you help out the elves, you can't do this or that.
Yeah, you can't go with someone else, for example.
Yeah.
That would be quite cool. Like again, that would work with create your own create your own kind of Witcher, own style of Witcher. I love Monster Hunter too much. And then that way, if you go down more of an elven path, they're obviously known more for the magical, potiony kind of side stuff. Whereas I think dwarfs, I don't think there are any in Witcher that I remember. That's more physical.
Yeah, there are dwarfs
better
in Witcher.
At creating. What if there's like I don't want it to become like Skyrim where you have to be good at blacksmithing.
Yeah.
But you could maintain your weapon better. So not necessarily weapon breaking like in Breath of the Wild, because that is the most frustrating thing. I don't know how you found Zelda fans put up with that. But more Monster Hunter where it's more of a sharpening thing. You're better at keeping your weapon sharper, more durable, more...
Like, this is another thing that annoys me as well, is like the fact that in Witcher 3, like your weapons can like get damaged and stuff.
They can in 3?
Yeah, you remember like it's like they can, and it's like
man, I forgot that.
It's like when you're hitting people with it, and like, when it's damaged, it does less damage overall. And like, I think the reason why they did that was so like you can't just have like the best weapon in the game and not feel challenged throughout the game. But at the end of the day as well, it's like this is meant to be like this is a weapon that I got, like this is a very hard weapon. Why can't I use it effectively, and why do I have to fix my own stuff?
I don't know. I like the idea of it purely because I'm a Monster Hunter fan.
Yeah.
You can't be going and fighting a Nergigante or a Fatalis and not having to sharpen your weapon after hitting something ridiculously tough for a long time.
Yeah.
I like the idea of like the sharpening mechanic or maintenance, but the breaking aspect that is in Breath of the Wild, absolutely not.
No, your weapons can break in Witcher.
I would not want that in this.
I swear it could have, because remember my friend Daniel mentioned it to me like some time ago. It can break, and it's just like I look at that, I'm like you can get weapon repair kits or whatever, but I can't remember where you would get them from, because they
buy them.
Yeah, you buy them, but they were overpriced as hell.
But then that's where the allegiances and stuff could work, because as far as I know,
the dwarves can help you.
Dwarves can help you out because they're blacksmithing and stuff. They would be more money kind of focused and orientated, whereas the elves are more crafting maybe. So maybe you can craft more, hold
ingredients
more,
and stuff.
And the trade-off for being dwarf allegiance. These are just rough ideas. These are not set in stone that we just thought of now, which would work quite well.
Yeah.
Then you could be more Witcher orientated, so your skill progression and stuff can be quicker. Your what's the term when people know you? Your
allegiance.
Your status is like known. So like not celebrity status, but I'm trying to go down that kind of line where you're known more which can work good or bad for you. Whereas if you're with the dwarf allegiance or elven allegiance, they won't really know as much.
Mm-hmm.
You could, which would be really freaking cool to see, go down a dark path.
Mm.
So yeah, you have the main story, but then the main problem that people don't like witches is they say they're money grabbers. Well, excuse me, mate. If a griffin has just killed my little sister, I'm gonna pay the witcher however much he can to protect them from stealing, or kill the griffin from killing all my other siblings and family.
Yeah.
And people say that they're stingy for money, and I know money's different there to how it is now, but I would rather pay that. And then, but it's not like they were evil. They didn't kill people, so I never understood why people didn't like them.
Yeah, it's just because they were seen as monsters. Because like them themselves enhance themselves with monster stuff.
Monsters that protect
monster genes and
protect
stuff.
you from monsters.
Yeah.
You know?
And obviously they hated like mages because they were like magic. What is this? And they hate not dwarves, like elves because they're because the humans and elves had a war, whatever it was, and that's why they hated it. Basically racism at that point, right? And so it's just like at the end of the day, it's like it's just it is what it is.
It is what it is, exactly. But yeah, so then going into that, imagine having allegiance with Roach. You get like the infinite mate. I remember when I got the saddle where you could sprint. Like, that makes no sense.
Yeah.
The sprinting does not come from the saddle, the stamina. Oh my gosh.
You get like a potion that makes you stamina. It makes your horse run forever.
Oh my gosh. But no, I think that allegiance thing could work quite well in terms of your skills, how you get your weapons. And then with it all being multiplayer, we know, for example, if it comes out we're both going to play, you'll just need to get an Xbox.
Yeah, I don't mind. I wouldn't even mind cosplay as well. Cosplay.
I just don't think they're going to do it, man. I just don't think there's no big games that really care to have it across what big enormous game has crossplay over it, like most, if not all, consoles. I don't class Rocket League as big. Apex. I don't class Fortnite as big. I don't class Apex as big. Talking about a really big game.
Monster Hunter World.
That's not even crossplay.
It isn't?
It's not.
Oh, damn.
There's so many things that are just wrong when it comes, and we can blame Sony for that.
Yeah,
100% Sony's fault.
Yeah,
Xbox just keep saying all the time, "We want to work with you." Now, no, like proper Sundere gaming company.
Yeah,
quite annoying.
Like with the renowned characters, right? I remember there was a character in Witcher 3 called Dudu, and his name is Dudu, guys, right? Literally Dudu, like D-U-D-U, Dudu. And like maybe you can have a reference to Dudu or something, man. Just for the shits and giggles, bro. Man's name is Dudu, bro.
Dudu, bro. Oh my god. But there's loads. Like I said, we haven't played this game in ages. If we went back in and ran around for 35 minutes, you'll find so much.
So many things.
Wow, I forgot about this. I forgot about this. Like you mentioned the weapon craft, the weapon
breaking.
No, like, what's it called?
Chipping. Weapon maintenance.
No, but what's it called? The thing that you can buy.
Oh, repair kits.
I completely forgot about the repair kits, and I remember I always had loads.
Yeah.
But I still think I like the idea that the weapon goes because it I don't want to use the term immersive, but it is. Because if you thought about it, if we went out now and we got a sword or an axe, for example, and we just started dicing hides or dicing animal bodies that came to us, we're gonna have to sharpen our axe eventually again.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna get dull.
It will get dull, and obviously you won't get clean cut. So it makes sense in here. I just hate that Zelda had the break, and I never played the game. Yeah, and that fueled me with rage.
Yeah, it was just like the number, right? So let's say, for example, the Master Sword says like 64, whatever, right? Apparently, that number isn't how much damage. It's the damage it does, but it's also the number of hits it can take, whatever. So you had a weapon that had like 5 swings or whatever.
Yeah,
it's like
it's just I love that you can look at something. Yeah, you're good enough for about 2 of my swings.
Yeah,
it's a silly idea. That game would have been infinitely a lot better. And like I said, I've not played it. I've watched all the gameplay or most of it.
Yeah,
you're the Zelda one out of us two. If they had that weapon repair kit kind of stuff, it would have been a much different game, I reckon.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
Be holding 50 swords and trying to find, because obviously you pick up weapon types and some are better than others, and you wouldn't want to be farming like hordes and hordes and hordes.
I still think the one-handed sword and the shield is the best combination. You could block.
I mean, I'm not going to argue with what you
Like,
say.
I'm just, yeah, like it's just the fact that you can block and it's like fast. It does fast and like good damage.
But then, yeah, what I was saying with my bit just before you said that is
Mhm.
there might be one enemy type that has a better shield and one enemy type that has a better sword, and you'll be
Yeah,
farming for those ones.
Yeah, exactly.
To then go to your fights. And
Yeah.
it's just
that. This is the problem, right?
waste of time.
This is the problem, right? Breath of the Wild, right? We're gonna compare Breath of the Wild with Witcher 3 right now, right? So Breath of the Wild's problem was, as soon as you leave the Great Plateau, which is like the tutorial level of the game, right? You basically can go anywhere, and the fact that you can go anywhere means you can run to like this one, like you can run to the Colosseum, for example,
Right.
and pick up all the good weapons from there, and you can just become OP.
See, but you're saying that you said the word beginning with R. Run. That stamina mechanic is so stupid. It is so freaking stupid.
I don't mind it because it's a good thing to limit people from doing this in that like, early game and stuff. But at the same time, it's too small.
Like Geralt could sprint, I'm pretty sure, infinitely. Or no, maybe not infinitely. I think he still had the stamina bar, but he had Roach to run around.
Yeah.
You have nothing. You get the power, but you have to climb up. And if you
and you have to, and if you want a horse, you gotta go find you a horse.
You gotta climb back up again. Like,
yeah. And rain stops you from climbing this and that because it slides you down.
Slide more. It's good ideas. It was just, why'd you make it that way though?
Yeah, exactly.
Why'd you make it a grind? And it was the first thought that comes into my mind was, if they saw the game had 10 hours of content, it instantly makes it 14 hours worth of content. Purely because of the time it takes to get to places, the time it takes to farm to get the weapons, the time it takes to climb up places. It's just,
It's like this is like, with Witcher, you couldn't do that because you had a level cap.
Yeah.
And this is another issue as well. It's like, why have a level cap for OP weapons for them to start getting nicked away?
It's the weirdest RPG mechanic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, oh wow, these boots are so powerful that even I can't put them on. I have to get more levels to put them on.
I remember the potions meme. I need some of your strongest potions with that morphed voice, but you're not strong enough. You're not aware of it. It's like, but I need potions.
I need potions.
I think like it's either Long Beach, Griffey, or
if it was Caleb, it's Caleb
City did it, yeah. And it's just like, I want that sword. Well, you can't because you're 20 levels too under. But how is it going to stop you from holding the sword? It's a dumb mechanic.
And he's like, okay, sure, here you go, pay your money for it. And he buys it and he gives it to him and he tries to unsheath it. What the hell? He's like, yeah, there you go, stupid.
But then why? Again, I'm just going to reference it again. Mm-hmm. Why I like Monster Hunter is you get every weapon when you face something.
Yeah.
So you have to earn it by beating it or getting parts of it, and you can still level it up. So the first level of everything is weak, and then the final level of everything is higher. Obviously, the most final monsters is just got one or two versions.
Yeah.
Whereas like the steel or the wood, the bone,
the wood,
steel or the bone weapons would be weak and build up gradually. You got like 10, 15 variations of each.
Yeah. Like I think that's enough for like the open world and stuff.
Yeah.
Like the next point we're going to talk about is like another branching story yet again.
Yeah.
But this time with like choices that show obvious intent.
Yes, because that ruined me in Syria, like I said earlier.
Like another example of what Tyler's talking about is that time where there was that witch in the forest, whatever, and Tyler ended up getting her killed because he didn't know what he was actually trying to say to her, because he was like, you can't just kill all these innocent people, blah blah blah. Yeah. And so the one that Tyler chose is the one that initiates combat or whatever.
Yeah.
And so like he basically could not get past that.
So basically you're meant to try and send her back to Kaer Morhen to get ready for that final fight, which you don't know is going to happen.
Yeah.
And then there was the choices of, you let her do what she's doing even though it's wrong. You say, hey, no, this is wrong. And the other one was like, fight like proper, I'm going to stop you in your tracks. So I kept it in the middle. I tried to, and I was just picking options where I'm saying, what you're doing is wrong. We need to be working together. We shouldn't be doing this. And it just initiated combat where it doesn't actually make it obvious. And this happens in a lot of RPG games with choices.
Yeah.
You would see 2 or 3 voice lines that you can pick, and they just need to put in brackets what it will lead to.
Yeah, like you could, not even like what it can lead to. You can literally like have it in brackets like nice, rude, or like
hostile.
Yeah, like something like that. Like it's like simple things like that, or like stubborn, or like, you know. What I mean?
Like I said, there was choices for Ciri. There was 3 main in the game when you talk to her as Geralt, and that I only got 1 out of the 3 that saves her. You need to make her. You need 2 out of the 3 to save her from the fight. And then the final one, I can't remember the one I got right. I got 1 wrong. well, arguably not necessarily wrong because how they worded it as the option. And then the final one asked me, she was talking and she was saying that she feels overwhelmed. She don't think she can do it all by herself. And then the options were, you don't have to do everything by yourself. Like, take it
Yeah.
easy. The other one was, you need to work harder and like what is it? Dog on her. And I'm like, I'm not going to say that. You don't need to work harder. What you're doing is already really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I picked the other option, like, just take it easy, take a breath. You know, not everything comes straight away. You need to work to where you get. And then she ends up dying because of that. Because I wasn't giving her tough love, and that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's true. It is kind of. It doesn't make sense.
The choice options there just weren't. You didn't know what was going to happen next, and I hated that because it got one of the characters killed for me, or two.
Mm-hmm.
Two characters killed, and I'm that one save kind of person. A game like Witcher is just too long to play for me. I'm not going to have 35 save files and know where all of them are.
Yeah.
I want my playthrough, and because I couldn't save it, I'd have to do the whole playthrough again.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like,
plus
I can't play
plus
DLC.
because that long ass loading screen, whatever, bro.
Oh my gosh, a long loading screen.
I wonder how long the loading screens are on this though.
It won't be long at all on the Series X, no way.
That's like
so that so the branching story, but not necessarily story, just more choices.
Yeah,
but
choices.
It's obvious what you're going for.
Dialogue
so if you
intent.
the dialogue intent is just so obvious what you're picking. If someone gives you an option, you know what you're picking because there'll be annotations above to let you know, and it could always be the same button input each time.
Yeah.
It could be square or X on the controllers for nice,
Yeah.
or positive or helpful. Triangles in the middle, triangle and Y, rude,
Yeah.
or whatever, and then you've
confinement or like or something,
or like a bit distant is in those options,
Distant.
and then B and circle can be the complete like hostile ones.
Yeah.
Like, get out of my face, always initiating fights. They just need to make it clear, and in that way you can kind of learn the pattern. And I think they did that in Anthem actually. I think when you did the playthrough of Anthem, the buttons were always the same in terms of left is good, right is bad, top is middle.
Yeah. And it's like I know there's like what 4 or 5 different endings for Witcher.
Yeah, it's
like,
loads. I think it's more to 6 actually.
But like some of them weren't even like drastic endings, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like so like I'm trying to say, like, for example, like your choices could probably end the world for all we could know if like you have like a grave threat or whatever.
Yep.
And it's just like Witcher just has it's like one of the only game franchises, like Witcher, probably Elder Scrolls and like Fallout are like the 3 franchises that like own the multiple choice dialogue system.
I think Mass Effect has a bit of it.
Oh yeah, Mass Effect as well. Yeah, Mass Effect.
Never
definitely.
played it, but I remember it being referenced when it linked to Anthem.
Yeah.
Same devs, I'm pretty sure, right?
I think so.
I believe so. Maybe.
They're both published by EA.
But yeah, so the choice of obvious of intent and the branching story would just the choices would be quite nice. And then like I said, the choices can link back to allegiances and stuff. You might not be able to get choices or more if you're not with that allegiance. I think that's quite cool, that allegiance aspect for the multiplayer.
Yeah.
And if you work together, me and you play, and we get a third or fourth or however many it bloody goes up to 100 people, you can all have your own allegiances. You can all help each other out because it's a multiplayer game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I wanted to take a step back in terms of, I wanted to take a step forward, in terms of difficulty, and a step back for witches because you're learning. You are a Witcher.
You're a Witcher, but you're not like the best Witcher in the world.
But you're not Geralt. You're not young Vesemir. You need to learn, and then that's where your character creation can just be molded. You can be an arrogant piece of shit.
Yeah.
Charge ridiculous price. You can change the bar. There was a slider. You could pick how much you were going to charge someone. I never knew for a long time. They would give you a price. So you just accept it. And then sometimes I'd undercut it and they're like, wow, I didn't know witches were like this. And then you just realise the game's programmed to have people chat shit and slow you anyway. So I just left that as standard all the time.
Yeah. Or when you would do the overpriced one and they were like, no, that's too overpriced. Whatever. And if you keep doing that, they'll be like, you know what? Yeah, I can't be bothered anymore. Just go away.
Oh, man. Wow. Right, so we've gone through that. The become your own style of Witcher, we've glossed on, we've referenced it to loads. My main thing, because I don't want to waffle, because I can go on about this for ages. If you're going to go down the skill-wise one, I think it should be skill-based
Yeah.
or combat based,
Mhm.
and then they all work in allegiance. All work with the allegiances, so it's kind of like a triangle.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
your allegiance gets you benefits. Your fighting style gets you benefits. There are trade-offs.
Yeah.
That's my main thing.
Yeah, like a trilogy of things or whatever, like three main
Yeah.
things.
And then you don't just instantly stay. If you you draw a picture of a triangle in your head and you draw a circle in the middle closest to what kind of corners or whatever middle.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, but you don't start like that. You build up to it.
Mhm.
And then with that system, as much as I slam on Outriders, they had a perfect one. You create your own playstyle for that one specific character. I think they had 2 or 3 playstyles. You could return or refund all of those credits and put them all into another stuff.
Yeah.
Bear in mind your gear and equipment might not have suited it. So the gear could be better for casting and some could be more resilient for fighting.
Yeah.
You would have to rebuild your gear and stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
But to have the option to be like, you know what, I thought I would like up close combat, but I'm just not good at it.
Good at it, yeah.
Not necessarily not good at it, but you're not as effective as you thought you would be, and you want to try a more step back and casting kind of role, and maybe even support. Like your Quen, if you build a support kind of type one, or if you go down the support role of Quen, every time you activate it, your teammates could get them. You know, stuff like that. It was quite a cool. Because remember, like abilities, and it's magic in this game.
Yeah.
It's kind of limitless.
Mm-hmm.
But then obviously the combat one, I don't know. I mean, pound your chest, you get like a defense buff for a short time, which goes on to your teammates as well. So there's like that multiplayer aspect has to have a base level in terms of the skills and stuff you get.
Yeah, like it's almost basic of things, but like it's just very like adept and advanced things as well.
Yeah, and the weapons as well.
Like
I'm not going to say you're going to get a scepter and a wand.
Yeah, like
playing the ranged one. You're still going to be using the swords. You are a witcher.
Yeah, like maybe you could have like a battle axe or something.
That would be freaking cool.
Yeah,
now that
like,
you said that, yeah.
It's like figure like even if you like had like a stat sheet where it's like in Dark Souls, it's like you can't use this weapon because your strength is too
heavy
low.
and it makes you slower.
Yeah,
that is really, really cool. I didn't even think. I was literally saying you'll still have your sword, but yeah, you could have a sword and shield style. You could have a crossbow.
Yeah,
like one where you can apply ailments onto stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Me, you obviously know what I'm gonna pick. I want a big ass fucking hammer. I want to be clubbing everything. Obviously, I will pick the fighter.
Yeah.
Slower moving type, but hit hard.
Yeah.
That will be my kind of hunter, and then hopefully I'll get someone in the group that is a supportish kind of one. Then we have a quickie nippy one as well. You know.
Yeah.
That would work quite. A battle axe sounds badass.
Just
I would
like
definitely switch between
like the most basic ones, like just a battle axe, just a war club or whatever, or like a war hammer as well. It's just like simple little weapons you can add. You can have the most simple thing, like in Witcher you can't even like block. Well, no, you can't even counter like monster attacks.
You can't nah.
But
It's
I think you can block them. Yeah,
it's kind of understandable mechanic wise and realistically wise. How do you counter? Like parry is what I'm trying to think. Oh, is that what you're trying to say, or are you just saying counter?
It's like you can't parry their attacks. So
it makes
you only
sense
parry
though,
the humans.
really,
Yeah,
parries. Yeah, but that's another reason why I liked it, because there's 2 different types of. You literally had 2 swords.
Yeah.
One for human, and you would take out the wrong one. It's like, no, I don't need this.
Yeah.
And he'll put it back and switch to the other one. Like that was cool. That is a really cool idea, actually. The different kinds of weapons you can get. So you have crossbow range, swords, shield, axe, hammer.
Yeah, like even with like the like our own Witcher thingy, right? We can have like our own backstory or whatever, where like we done something wrong in the past, and like we're being hunted off or whatever, and we're like in hiding.
That's quite cool. But then at the same time, you need to go around, you need to go explore, and level up your abilities. That could come back to bite you in your ass mid to late story.
Yeah.
That would work quite well. I was going to say it might clash with the multiplayer aspect, but at the same time, they could just be friends that are backing you up in your playthrough kind of look.
Yeah. If they have like, I can't remember what game it was where it was like, we watched Spider-Man No Way Home recently, that's it, right? And how everyone hated him off, right? And even the MIT council member, whatever, like didn't like him.
Yeah. And
obviously, like he saved her life, and she became like she found whatever, like you're a good hero, blah blah blah. And it's like it could be the exact same thing.
It could be. Spoiler there. Oh, that wasn't me. That was it.
Oh no.
Classic.
Oh, shut up.
We'll put a spoiler alert warning in there.
Oh well, to be honest, they should watch it by now.
Yeah, I don't know about that. We're definitely putting a spoiler alert.
No. Nah, man. What do you mean about spoiler alert, bro? You see what those Americans did to us in the UK?
Oh, people just need to stop spoiling. It doesn't matter what country.
Nah, bro, they spoiled Venom. Now it's our turn, bro. Like, but yeah, like, you could literally have that with, like, you could even have, like, the most basic of things as well. Like, you know, we both hate stealth in games.
I wouldn't say I hate stealth, but in a game like Witcher, you can kind of be stealthy for some monsters that will just leave the area if you're, you know. But oh gosh, but no, I'm not necessarily hate stealth. I hate more stealth when it comes to PvP, and you do more damage because you come out of stealth with your initial attack. I hate stuff like that.
Yeah.
But with the multiplayer, we've not actually mentioned it. I don't think I've even thought about it till now. I don't want to see PvP.
Yeah, PvP is stupid.
I don't know why people would want witches to fight witches. You know,
I wouldn't mind if it was like a boxing fight where it's like you can go to like NPC
that would be cool.
and you just like throw hands with each other or whatever, right?
That's
that
like
would be
Monster
fine.
Hunter arm wrestling.
Yeah,
that would be quite cool.
I wouldn't mind that because that there is like a super realistic thing in the Witcher world.
That would be cool.
Witches wouldn't just cut each other for no reason. They would literally just like box each other for money.
That would be really cool. The boxing one.
Yeah.
Gwent. Some people are really
Gwent,
Gwent's a game. I never played any Gwent in the whole playthrough except the one you had to.
Yeah.
I just wasn't interested at all. But that is huge. Yeah, like I said, it got its own game. But that multiplayer, so Gwent, fist fight, bar fight even. Yeah. But it would be that you have to drink beforehand, so everyone's senses are dulled. That would be cool.
It'd be the bar fight thing you brought up, that would be like a really cool like moment in the story, whatever, where you go to like a bar, whatever, and like you have the option to drink or not, and like you're just waiting for people, and it's like you're waiting, but like if you drink, it speeds up the waiting process.
Oh, I see.
So it's like you can either sit down in real life and wait, or would you rather just drink and then it speeds up? But if you drink though, the drawback is you can get drunk, and when you get drunk, you have an actual fist fight with people in the bar.
That is cool.
And like how it could end or whatever is like kind of taking out the Red Dead Redemption 2 note where like you fight this super big guy and you're on the floor like literally like wrestling each other in the mud and stuff. That would be really cool.
That is really cool. Actually, I do like that. I said I don't want any PvP, but minigame stuff, absolutely fine, perfect.
Yeah.
Talking about the multiplayer though, we've mentioned it. I want to see three witches max in a party. You should be able to play with everyone. The leveling stuff, kind of understandable. You don't want people to just carry them through the story.
Yeah.
But a game like Witcher, it's long enough already. Same with like Monster Hunter World and Iceborne. When I played that multiplayer, even when I was still playing, it still took a while because you had the cutscenes. You still had the farming and stuff to do, and I could just help anyone. I don't know what kind of... I'm not going to put numbers for levels and what stages you can and can't go to. The gear lock, I think, should be a thing, but more you create it after you go to an area that has that kind of material. So when you start off, you have your rags and shit. You have like even like a genuinely rusty sword.
Yeah.
There's no saying that rusty sword can't be improved. At a blacksmith or whatever, and then you go to a new area, or you can buy a sword from the blacksmith and then they can be upgraded. I don't want it to be you go to one area, you fight a boss, you now get a weapon, because why would bosses have weapons?
Yeah, why would bosses have weapons? Yeah,
you know, so it should be like a local area wise. And I think when you finally get to the final local area, that's where you get the... I know people will be like, oh, but Skellige isn't stronger than I can't even remember other names. Like
Novigrad.
Yeah, Skellige isn't tougher than Novigrad. That's where the story takes you, and I would just do it that way is fine for me. What about yourself? How many? Because I want to see just three witches max working together and a slow progression with weapon and damage.
I wouldn't mind. Sorry about that. I wouldn't mind having 4 witches, but like I would like to have 3, but like only 4 if it was like a big monster.
It could be bigger than 4 for really big monsters.
Yeah, like a dragon, for example, like an actual dragon.
City threatening kind of creatures.
Or like for example, you could have like a siege or whatever where monsters come to attack the city.
I was just gonna say it don't even need to be one big old monster. It could be a group. Like you could get like a seasonal nighttime. Every full moon, drowners come into the city because the tide rises, for example, and the swamps rise, so it starts to flood in the city, and you get a plethora of them coming in, treating it like home habitat. And you need to fend that off. That would be really cool siege ideas or event ideas.
Or even like have that one monster in like the Vesemir movie where Vesemir I think I don't know if he let it go or whatever. I can't remember. Like that monster.
Is that the one where they're fighting it like on the castle like place?
Yeah.
And it turns into something, doesn't it?
Yeah, like it can make illusions and stuff.
Oh, I can't remember. I can't remember. I think it was the elf kid or whatever that
Yeah.
caused it. I
Yeah.
think they got away. I think they let them go away.
And then like you can even have that like incorporate that
They
as like
created it.
yeah, like I don't know where I'm going with this or whatever, but like I could say like let's say for example like that thing basically makes monsters come attack people, blah blah blah, whatever. Like it's simple basic things like that they could do.
I think the argument was in that Night of the Wolf. I keep forgetting what it's called.
Night of the Wolf, yeah, you're right.
Night of the Wolf is young Vesemir didn't know that the witches were creating the monsters, so then they made one, and there's a term when you crossbreed two things. I completely forgotten what it's called.
Breeding.
You crossbreed two things, and I can't remember what it's called. That was the product of it, and Geralt was gonna go fight it initially to kill it, and then he realized, hold on, this isn't normal. And then he found out that it was not Geralt, sorry, Vesemir found out that it was the guy that trained him.
Yeah.
It was them trying to make money, but it backfired because they made something too powerful.
Yeah.
And that's why Geralt's like, I'm not going to kill it because it's not its fault, it's yours.
Yeah.
I can't remember what that term is, man. It's used in Full Metal Alchemist when the guy does with his daughter and the dog.
Hybrid or whatever.
It's not hybrid. It's really annoying. I feel like there's an E in there. I can't actually remember. That's really annoyed me. That's gonna bug me now for the rest of the day.
Alright, well, it is what it is, man. Like,
But yeah, that's what he let go away.
yeah.
So like monster wise in terms of multiplayer. Keep saying Hunter. Witcher wise, 3 is a perfect number for me, because if you think about it, you're fighting when you're going through the story. You're fighting drowners, so they can just increase the amount that are there and scale it for solo to duo trio.
Yeah.
I think 4 is just too much. Think about the effects. Think about the benefits of having 4. If anything, 2 it should be the cutoff point.
Yeah.
Because one of you can go down one route and the other one the other, but it doesn't have to be complete opposite ends. But that's why I find 3 perfect, because you will all blend really well in comparison to 2, where you feel like you may have to be polar opposites. I think 4 is a bit too much, but then I think it could be events. So with it being an online multiplayer, you can connect to an online multiplayer database, and with these events that come through, you get scoring. With the drowner things, maybe you get like drowner costumes where you can actually, maybe not, you can look like them if you want to. I don't know, you could have rewards. It could be, there's a lot you can, I'm not going to try and think of ideas on the spot, but that's just a simple idea. A swarm of drowners. Doesn't sound imposing at all, but if you need more than 3 witches for it, then that siege idea could be possible. Or we could have the big dragons. What about like a scared off group of griffins all going in to try and just move into one village closer? They see all the horses, they see all the livestock. Free food, they've got these people walking around, I'll kill them too. You'd need a couple witches to sort that out. So then there could be somewhere it's just your multiplayer group, somewhere you have to go. But then again, you don't want it to be like 10.
You don't want it to be like 10.
You want it to be, I think, like 5, 6. But that's why I'm getting. I don't know, man. There'll be some kind of balancing if I have more time to put into it. Then.
And obviously the monsters themselves, they're gonna have to be modified for combat purposes online and stuff.
Yes.
Which is where like Monster Hunter has it the best.
You made a really good idea.
Yeah, where Monster Hunter has it the best. It's like if the monster is fighting like one person, it's scaled to fight 1. But if it's like 2, 3, 4, blah blah blah, it's scaled to fight 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
So the fight is actually harder and like more interesting.
But at the same time, their base movesets are made around fighting 4 hunters always, not 1.
Yeah,
which works out well for the 1 because it still feels like an intimate fight.
So like think of like a lesson, for example, where like it has the tree attacks. It could do it like in a sprout of like multiple different directions.
Sprout random directions, tracking movements. So it feels like when you're fighting by yourself, it just does 1, but when you're fighting other people, it does 2, 3. It's a really good idea. Modify their actual movesets. Drowners could do more of a. Maybe not drowners. I know I keep referencing them. They're the only small ones.
Let drowners actually drown us, please.
But like I was gonna say, you could get it where maybe not drowners because they've not got the brains,
Yeah.
but something a bit smarter where they're a group. They target one person. They try to drag that person away.
Yeah, like the wild dogs or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
that'd be quite cool. Like they could do a pin animation and then they're dragging you by your boot.
Yeah.
And you're waving your sword at them like, get the hell off me. Or doesn't matter you got Quen, like you need your team to come and help you. And like, yes, witches are really powerful, but as what I'm trying to say is with this multiplayer, create your own character, you start off at the bottom. When you start seeing other witches when you're playing Witcher 3, you don't bat an eye to them. You already know you're the best one because you're Geralt. And regardless if you know your story or not, whereas now you're like, shit, I need help.
Yeah.
Even though witches are meant to be solitary, I just still think it's a better idea to have a multiplayer where you play with your mates because that's what everyone wants.
Yeah. Right.
And then still have solo scaling for the loners in the world.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's basically it for what we want.
The only other thing would be other monster designs that we've not seen.
Yeah.
I can't think of any off the top of my head. It's usually
Kelpie.
Mythology kind of. Yeah, Kelpie would be quite cool, like a horse that can pull you in.
Yeah.
That would be. There we go. That's quite a cool one. Maybe it attacks in 2 or 3s, and
yeah.
I don't actually know monster design. As much as it really irks me because I'm a Monster Hunter fanboy, I can't think of any for Witcher that I instantly want to put in right now.
Yeah. Ooh, another like mini game you can play with witches is like Joust.
That would be cool. Jousting, the horse racing as well would be quite fun.
Yeah, horse racing. Yeah.
I don't want there to be any
a drinking game.
But how would you win it though?
The one who drinks, the one who doesn't mess up the button inputs, and they get faster and faster each drink you get.
That's a good point. There you go. Quick time events. Always such an easy way. Like I even mentioned for the initial create your own character, you're running. That's actually perfect. You create your own character and you wake up from a nightmare, and then you go to drink from the stream and you create your character there.
Yeah.
So you remember the trials. You go through all of that first person perspective. The game has to be third person.
Yeah, third person.
I don't mind the idea of a first person implement as well, like by a toggle of a button.
Yeah.
Completely fine.
Yeah.
Third person mandatory. Cyberpunk fucked up with that big time. Right, so we're going to Roundup. We'll start with the release date because that's the one thing we don't actually know. Expected. I would say 2024. The game that we're thinking of, 2025-6 would be my guess.
Yeah.
Depending on when they started to make it, Cyberpunk has pushed everything back.
Yeah. So I'd think at the very latest, right? This is just the start of like the 20s, right? 20s. I would say the very latest that this game could probably come out is 2028.
Yeah, I'm thinking earliest when I said my ones. Yeah,
I'm just saying that is the latest the game could come out.
I'd agree with that. The latest, between 5 and 8.
Yeah, okay. I could see that. Yeah, 5 and 8. 5
being so optimistic, 6 being off pushing it. I feel like it would be missing content.
Yeah.
7 being done, 8 being mate. Come on, it's a bit late now. 2 must-haves for you. I want to say 3, but I think we might clash. So overall, it'll be 4 must-haves. What are the 2 must-haves? So not what we shouldn't have, what we need to have. Something that will make you buy the game.
More sex.
More sex. We need it. We need it now.
More sex.
Nude scenes.
Yeah, more sex. Stupid. 2 things that I think the game must have for me to play it. I would say like a very interesting like story and like cast of characters.
Yeah.
And
I can get behind that.
Yeah. And I would like to see like a very drastic change to the combat of like the first stuff.
How so?
Like I mean like if you compare like Ciri to like Geralt, right? She has like her dashing stuff. Right?
She's just quick, yeah.
Yeah, so like imagine the stuff you can do with that. If there were like these kind of like, well, obviously Ciri's like whatever, she's like some magical ass person. But I'd say for example like you have like a wide cast of like abilities that you can actually use, and like not everyone feels the same.
So do you mean you like the difference in the depth of to become your style of Witcher? Is
Yeah,
that what you mean?
Yeah, like a very depthful thing.
But not like Geralt and you split it between skills and fighting. It's more the fighting has 4 or 5 aspects. The skills have multiple. Okay.
So like oh gosh, we gotta keep referring to this game. Like every weapon in Monster Hunter, right, is different.
Yeah.
They are like they're very like similar on paper, but they all function differently.
Yeah.
and there's like 14 different ones of those.
Yeah.
But like, imagine you just had it like this. Like, let's say like, oh, like you can like instead of focusing like on magic as a whole,
Yeah.
you could focus on each individual like sign.
Yes, we didn't mention that.
Yeah. So like, imagine like I think it's Quen, right? The shield.
Quen's shield.
Yeah, the Quen, right? So like, if you're like a tanky witcher, you could like put it on yourself, but like it could take like 3 or 5 more hits.
Extra hits.
Yeah,
so
whatever.
Commit more to one skill.
Yeah.
Become your own witcher.
Mm-hmm.
Some people will have the mentality of I might need to survive a bit more hits because it doesn't even need to be tanky. It could be more an aggressive playstyle, so you'll need your Quen to be stronger.
Yeah, exactly.
And then if you like AoEs, you've obviously got Igni, Ard.
Yeah.
Where instead of it being a fireball going forward, or a sweeping sideways one, the cone could go further.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, it
burn
could
for longer.
Yeah, or it could be like a straight beam of fire or whatever. Not like
like a solid beam, kind of like a Merlin on Smite.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, but like it's just like those kind of things would be interesting as well. Like even with the odd one.
Yeah, wind gust.
Yeah, like the odd one.
Or telekinetic gust.
Yeah, you can have one where like it could just it won't like it can't like let's say like you can have it for like just a normal force push or whatever in this case.
Choke.
Or you have like a choke or like a pull.
Yeah.
Like you can have a pull one or like
cool
use it to like make you dash and like spin forward with your sword or whatever.
Like you said, a tanky one where you pull the creature to you. So it won't be a broken pull, it'll be like a lore pull.
Yeah.
Oh, actually no, it would have to be a broken pull because
pull.
Axie would be the lore pull, the mind control one.
Mm-hmm.
So you can control monsters that some people can't. You have to really commit in perk-wise into it. And then you've got Erden, which is the one that's used in the magical circle to fight ghosts and stuff. So
and you get
a bigger circle.
Yeah, or like you can enhance it to make it like debuff. Like
I was just gonna say, Erden is the one that would probably get left behind, but the debuff sounds like a good shout.
Yeah. Or you can make it like have like a little tick effect of like if they're in this circle they start ticking as well.
Yeah.
So like you can literally stay in it, or you can have it heal you as well. Like a little like a circle, like the circle itself.
I think the heal might be on the stronger side. I think the debuff is bang on the head, perfect for balancing. Because Erden, I was just saying, make it bigger and last longer, but who cares? You don't really fight wraiths and stuff that much.
Yeah.
You add a debuff to an area.
Or you could have the circle keep people in it.
Oh, like a little blocker.
Yeah, like
that's quite cool.
Instead of like having it to like keep wraiths in or whatever, you could possibly change it to keep them in, because like if you can keep them in and the wraiths in it, you just gotta like, mess them up.
Yeah, because they drift in and out of it.
Yeah,
don't they?
yeah, exactly.
You need to stand in there.
Yeah,
I guess so. I guess like a 1 or 2 exit kind of chance. Nothing too long.
Mm-hmm.
But that I reckon that could be the trade-off from the debuff though, which would work quite well because the debuff will be as soon as it goes in there, 6-7 seconds it's debuffed.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the one where you keep it trapped, it could stay in there 1 or 2 of its own attacks to get out, and everyone can bury kind of like their own attacks into that. That would be really cool. Those are 2 really strong ideas. So your ones are the in-depth skill attributes.
Yeah, skill attributes.
Level them up separately and create your own Witcher.
Yeah.
And the other one being interesting story.
Yeah, and cast of characters. Like I love Igni. I love art. I love all the signs.
Yeah.
But we all know that most of the signs aren't balanced.
Yeah, like I said, Igni Ard will probably be used the most. Then it'll be Quen.
Yeah.
Then Axie, the mind control one, that can go multiple. Obviously, you tag multiple enemies.
Like,
have them lurk for long.
Oh, with Axie, right? You could use it on like, let's say like an enemy, and they become like your slave or /
They
companion.
do it free.
I know, but like you have to like upgrade it though.
Yeah,
like, when you use it on them, like they get like
duration, obviously duration time, multiple tags at the same time.
Yeah.
I was thinking the only other bit is you can feed you info. That would only really mainly work outside of combat.
Yeah,
which
that's more story
already.
Story. Or you could use it on people and make them pay you more.
I was going to say you can use it to sway prices of stuff. Or this is kind of pushing it, the allegiance stuff. So yeah, you're with the dwarf allegiance. The elf knows something. You know it knows something. You want it to drip feed you information about how to create a better potion. And you're playing your solo one. You can Axie them. Maybe find out you need these 2 items. I think that's a bit pushing it a bit hard to code.
Actually, when I think about when you said about like the allegiance thing, you can kind of bring that into the skill thing. If you have an allegiance, you get to unlock 1 new like thing. So like the elf one allows you to actually like cast like a spell, like let's say for example like a protective barrier.
Yeah.
Or something, right? and there's like a little add-on because you went to that thingy and like you should have learned it from them if you max out or whatever.
But then again, the only reason I don't want to tie those skills with elves is because it's Witcher stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So like I want to tie that more to items.
Yeah, items.
Stuff.
Yeah, item based. Yeah, that's fine.
So it could be something that enhances your ability. Mm-hmm. So Knight of the Wolf, he drinks that little potion thing, concoction, and he gets the black eyes and he gets stronger faster.
Yeah.
That could be something that you could make more of, or more potent versions of. Not in terms of deadly, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
For yourself, that would be quite good. The Axii one, I think, in combat can be useful. It doesn't have to mind control them. It can just stun them. We'll be like, what the hell's just happened to me? Where am I? And then that's back into combat.
Yeah, but that's what it usually does though in the game. Like it always stuns them. But, like if you could like upgrade it in a way like you can make it, they can make them like. I'm not saying like. Let's say like there's like 3 classes of monsters: small monsters, medium monsters, and large monsters. Right? Obviously, a large monster would probably be like a Leshen or like a dragon or like that Wendigo like thing, whatever it is.
So not all of these things like that Erding trap won't work on a large, but it could maybe work on 1 tick for a medium, but 2 or 3 for a small.
Yeah.
You know?
Or like the thing Axii, right? Like that one can work on like small to medium monsters, but not large ones.
But then you could Axii small medium ones, and then you could input commands after, like attack here, go there, sacrifice yourself, fall.
No!
Bend over. Alright, so those are yours. My one is going to have to be the create your own character.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to tie it with the... Actually, no, the create your own character. 100%. You need to be able to make a badass looking character on par with Geralt.
Yeah.
And then I really, really, really want the intro or some kind of gameplay through the trials. Those are the 2 main things. The multiplayer is already guaranteed. We've already gone through that, but we've already talked about it. But I want that going through the trials is such a pinnacle thing for it. It's how they become witches.
Yeah.
It's like if you want to learn how to become a Super Saiyan, you need to watch the series. Like, it's not going to work in real life, but if you want to know how the hell they got blue hair, and I just want them to really flush out the lore of that, because they touched on it. I don't want to say gloss, they touched on it, which is more than a gloss. In the Nightmare of the Wolf movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, create a character, scars, those kind of things.
Yeah, scar, like face paint, whatever.
Face kind of painting, constant create your character. You can constantly keep changing
I can see H2O Delirious just having like the hockey face
already
mask,
having a hockey face mask back in that era. More wooden designed instead though.
Like a red triangle, like little dots whatever on his cheeks, whatever.
That would be really cool. But yeah, and I think they just have to. Just the trials would be so cool to start the game off, a 20-ish minute kind of thing, and then you wake up, it's a nightmare, and you look in the mirror and you create a character there.
Yeah.
I think that would be so cool. The only downside, obviously, for Witcher, for playing the game, is that they're always boys. Girls might want to be able to create a girl. If they want to break the law for that, they can. I think personally, no, just because it takes away from the premise of what the show's all about.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, it doesn't, like, the games itself aren't 1-for-1 the actual Witcher lore.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. That's why I said that they can break it, and it's just about having fun, enjoying the game with your friends. Like, that's what I want it to be. Have fun with your character.
For example, like Geralt in the books doesn't have 2 swords.
Yeah,
he has one on his horse and one on him.
Yeah, but it makes sense. Yeah.
But like another thing is what in the books, right, is like, this is gonna make Geralt sound like a pussy to you, right? Is in the books, this elf did this spell on him, whatever, and it broke every single bone in his body.
Oof.
And from that point onwards, he became a pussy. He was scared of like everyone.
I mean, if you're that, but he's broken, so he's not. Did he heal?
Yeah, he ended up healing, whatever, but like it took ages, whatever. Like it's all the bones in his body.
I wouldn't say that made him a pussy, bro. He literally just became the most vulnerable living creature on the planet.
And then he got back to like full strength, whatever, and like people was like, "Geralt, we need your help." He's like, "Nah, man. I don't want to do this anymore." It's like,
but then as much as people want to say he's been a pussy, right? He's done enough. He's done more than enough. Just because he's a witch, you don't mean he have to help. And that's where those choice systems come back in. But yeah, I want to see create your own really does. Look at Geralt. The scars on him, the eye colour is one thing. I think it's always the yellowy gold, orangey gold.
Yeah, it's like a yellow.
With the cat eyes, that's completely fine. But again, you can still play around with it. If you're going to make female witches, why what's to say you can't change the eye design?
He says you can't change the eye colour.
I want to have a Voldemort nose. You know?
Exactly.
I want to make a questionable looking character. Size-wise, the same. I don't want to be seen small and tall. It makes so much more effort for making the gear.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really, 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 as you tried it already, I want that lore behind the trials in the game.
Yeah.
And actually play it so you get a tangible feeling of what it's like. There's no need to say, there's no saying that you can't even fail in that bit.
Yeah.
Like I said, mostly just quick time events for that first bit, and then you're going through parts where you're in the training, and then you'll fade out, and you're fading, and you're somewhere else, and you're getting all those injections pumped into you, and you're doing button mashing to try and stay in time and all that.
Yeah.
Quick time events, really cool idea. That's all I can say for now. I know we could talk about this for ages. We could literally start talking about, I don't know, weapons and go into it more, but we'll leave it there. I'm happy to leave it there.
Yeah, same here.
If Witcher 4 is going to be successful, I'm going to leave it with the 2 words.
Yeah.
They have, well...
Cyberpunk!
No, I say 2 words. The sentence, if I were end in 2 words, they will have to make it. Shit, no, that doesn't make any sense.
Oh my gosh, this guy...
It will have to be made the way.
Oh.
They will have to do the way. They have to do the right way. It has to be the way. Uganda Knuckles may come to save us all.
Well, if you liked, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share with your friends, please.
Hit dislike. We'll still find out how much you guys dislike us.
Yeah, we know exactly who you are.
And if you want, we'll just send
Hunt you
screenshots.
down.
We'll hunt you down. No, for real, like, subscribe. More content. This is just a quick idea. What we say quick, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Thoughts that we've just conjured up for Witcher 4. We didn't even touch on the senses.
There's so much you can talk about.
There's loads. But yeah, we'll leave it there. Enjoy your day. Have fun. Talk about Witcher 4. Share. And let us know what you think.
See ya.